The Grind, a Minnesota sports podcast.
You're either an effing retard or you have an extra chromosome. But either way, good job of doing something other than drooling all over yourself. That's the latest crushing response on Facebook. Let's get my tears because I can't handle this anymore.
Up high, down hard.
I love those Facebook comments, and they don't bother me, which is why I can continue to post. It's funny how sensitive some people get about sports takes. And here I am running into the train of comments after my opinion, unafraid to plunge into not only the depths of Minnesota sports fans, but the responses of Minnesota sports fans. Lots to talk about today. Thanks for joining the show. Hit that subscribe button on YouTube and like the show if you're willing to do that as well. The Minnesota Vikings and their backup QB dilemma. That's what I want to discuss. And I also want to discuss the Minnesota Vikings' worst draft in the history of their franchise. All that on today's podcast. But first, let me tell you about 5-Star Bath Solutions of Minneapolis, because they transformed our bathroom in 48 hours, the entire thing. From new floors to a new bathtub, a new surround, shower heads, vanity, countertops, mirror. We went from a single to a double sink, which we love. It's our favorite bathroom feature. All of this was done in 48 hours. We didn't have to wait 8 weeks for a bathroom project to get done. It was done immediately. 2 days. We didn't have to cram into your teeny tiny bathroom. Same amazing price as a project that would take 8 weeks. Was done in 48 hours. And we had our master bathroom back. Contact 5-Star Bath Solutions of Minneapolis if you want your bathroom remodeled. They do full remodels, they do part remodels. Contact them today to get your project done, not in 8 weeks, not in 6 weeks, in 48 hours. 5-Star Bath Solutions of Minneapolis. Free consultations, affordable payment plans. 5-Star Bath Solutions of Minneapolis. So, there's been lots of chatter about the Vikings' backup situation. And I was reading a story yesterday on Bring Me the News, Bring Me the Sports, by Jonathan Harrison that says, definitely worth keeping an eye on this one. Vikings QB2 remains in question. And it's not the only place I've seen this conversation happening. Right there, there's the title if you're watching on YouTube. Definitely worth keeping an eye on this one. Vikings QB2 questions remain. It reminds me of Dumb and Dumber when Lloyd is being held at gunpoint and the guy asks, "Where's the money?" And he points out the IOUs. "This is as good as money, sir. These are IOUs. Let's take a look at it. $500,000. You might want to hold on to that one." "Oh, $200,000. Yeah, you might want to keep an eye on that one." Just goes on and on and on about the IOUs in their box. Our word is our bond. We'll give it back. We always pay it back. Anywho, I'm very surprised that this conversation has gone the direction that it's gone. But at the same time, I'm not very surprised at it at all. And here's why. Last year, people will still say there was a conversation about J.J. McCarthy potentially being the week 1 starting quarterback against the Giants last year, when in reality, there was no chance of that happening. Zero. McCarthy was not starting the year despite his good performance against the Raiders in the preseason. He was getting more opportunities and more reps with the ones because eventually, if Darnold struggled mid-season, you flip in McCarthy and he's got some experience and reps with the ones in practice, and it's not going to be a blind change. He's already got some reps with the ones. But McCarthy was never starting last year. And this is the McCarthy could potentially start week 1 against the Giants story of this season. There is no backup quarterback controversy or backup quarterback debate. I love Max Brosmer. And I do believe he has a future as a backup quarterback in the NFL someday. But it will not be for the Vikings this season. You are not going to put a first-year starting quarterback, J.J. McCarthy, as the starting quarterback, and an undrafted first-year rookie behind him. That's not going to happen. So although Brosmer threw a touchdown pass in his preseason debut, and he has looked accurate based on the video and reports, he's definitely the guy that people are cheering for, including me. He has zero chance to be the backup quarterback for the Vikings this season. Right now, the goal Vikings should have as an organization and Vikings fans should have is that Max Brosmer makes it to the Vikings practice squad. Because there could be a team fishing for a quarterback like Max Brosmer and giving him an opportunity to be a backup. But you're not going to buy and place two unexperienced quarterbacks and put them on the roster as QB1 and QB2. It's not happening. Ben Gessling said this: there are certainly still questions about the backup QB situation, though the way the Vikings practice has probably colored some of the perception from training camp. I thought it was interesting to hear Kevin O'Connell say on Saturday that Sam Howell was someone the Vikings needed to see in-game action to get a feel for what he can do. It's been widely reported that Sam Howell has struggled in training camp, but he just put together a preseason performance, 11 for 13, was productive, accurate, and efficient. And he played really, really well against the Houston Texans. And the reason why Sam Howell will be the backup quarterback for the Vikings is the Vikings traded for him. Not that they gave up a ton, but they traded for him. And two, he gives the Vikings the biggest upside after McCarthy. If McCarthy were to somehow go down with an injury to whatever, name your injury, Sam Howell allows the Vikings to keep 95% of the playbook that they already have. When Brett Rippon, Max Brosmer, you can't do that. You have to go back to the Christian Ponder days when you got a little square, a tiny little square, where you have, 5-6 plays on that thing, and 5 of them are hand the ball off to Adrian Peterson. So there is no controversy. There is no dilemma, because Sam Howell, after McCarthy, gives the Vikings the best opportunity to win games because he has the brightest upside following McCarthy. And you look at what Sam Howell has done throughout his NFL career, and he hasn't been a terrible quarterback. He's been a prototypical backup QB. He played one full season with the Washington Redskins in 2023, where he played 17 games, and started 17 games. He threw 21 touchdowns and had 21 interceptions. He was erratic with the ball, but threw for almost 4,000 passing yards. 21 touchdowns, 21 interceptions. Terrible record, 4-13. But Sam Howell was practically Sam Darnold. That's what Sam Darnold was doing throughout his career before he joined the Vikings. 21 touchdowns, 21 interceptions. Which tells me he has the ability to spin it and throw touchdown passes and make throws. And because he didn't get benched in 2023, 4-13, started every game, it tells me that he was the Washington Redskins' best option to start and win games. So he's entering year 4, and there is no question in my mind that the Vikings will name Sam Howell backup quarterback because of the upside that he presents and experience that he has. Brett Rippon knows the Vikings playbook. Kevin O'Connell raves about him all the time, but he does not have the arm talent that Sam Howell has. It's not a debate. It's not a discussion. Sam Howell will be the Vikings backup quarterback. All right. Vikings 2022 NFL draft. The worst draft, perhaps, in Minnesota Vikings history. Let's talk about that. But first, let me tell you about Hoagland Farms beef, because they have 100% rotationally grazed grass-fed beef, and they're the best. Financially, they're the best, and deliciously, they're the best. There's no question about it. You go to a store, grocery store, and you try to pick out some steaks and chuck roasts, you're looking at $9 to $10 a pound of beef. Hoagland Farm and their beef, they have steaks, chuck roasts, hamburger beef, ribs, all the good stuff that you can get at a store for roughly $4 a pound. All of it. Steaks aren't $10 a pound. Chuck roasts aren't $10 a pound. And you don't have to question where your beef comes from. He raises the cows. He brings in the cows to get slaughtered. They cut the beef. You pick it up. That's where your beef comes from. 100% grass-fed beef. Delicious, financially responsible. It makes sense from all parties. Contact Jared at 952-491-1541. 952-491-1541. And he'll give you a percentage off your first order if you tell him Tim sent you. Check it out today. The Minnesota Vikings released Brian Asamoah. I can't wait to see what AI transcript comes up with after I pronounce Asamoah. Yesterday. And with that release, it continued to dwindle down the Minnesota Vikings 2022 NFL draft. First round pick, Lewis Seen, broke his leg, couldn't recover after that. But it was more than a broken leg. A year after his broken leg, what was everybody saying in practice? What were the coach? It looks like he never broke his leg. He looks faster than ever. He couldn't play. Couldn't grasp the playbook, which was so interesting because he played at Georgia and had one of the best defenses in the league in college football that year. Pick number 2, Andrew Booth. Hardly played. Ed Ingram. He had his moments. He started some games. Pick number 4, third round pick, Brian Asamoah. Fourth round pick, Caleb Evans. Fifth round pick, Izezi Atumowe. Another 5th-round pick, Ty Chandler. He's still on the roster. He might get cut, though. 6th-round pick, Vidarian Lowe. 6th-round pick, Jalen Naylor. And 7th-round pick, Nick Muse. The best 2 players selected in the Vikings 2022 NFL Draft were 6th-round pick Jalen Naylor and 7th-round pick Nick Muse. All the others were busts. I guess Ty Chandler's I too. This draft year and selections still give Kwesi Adolfo-Mensah PTSD. And credit to Kwesi for this. But he has clearly shifted his draft strategy over the years from let's acquire and accumulate as many picks as we can to let's just select the best player available. And this season was a perfect example of it. The Vikings are sitting at, 24? And had multiple opportunities to trade back and collect more picks. And what did they do? They sit still, they draft their guy, and shore up that offensive line. And the Vikings even got a poor grade for not trading back from ESPN because apparently there were opportunities to. But if you trade back and select 2 players that stink, it's not worth passing up 1 player that's going to be good. And Kwesi has learned from his mistake. And we need to give him credit for that because he has adjusted his strategy. The year before, the Vikings traded up 1 spot to get McCarthy and traded up many spots to draft Dallas Turner. Sure, they missed on some mid-round picks because they didn't have draft capital because they gave them all up. The mid-round pick. The guy has probably less than 15% chance of being a successful NFL player anyways. So risk it for the biscuit. Risk it for the top-tier talent. It's all a gamble. But a first-round pick is going to give you a better opportunity to be successful than a mid-round pick. Do it. And he did. And this Vikings 2022 NFL Draft is a direct reflection of Kwesi trading down in round 1, passing up on the Baltimore Ravens safety Hamilton for Lewis Seen, and collecting picks, and they all suck. And he's learned from it. He's adjusted. And now we see an aggressive general manager, which is exactly what you want to see. You can get fired for being aggressive, but it's more respectable to get fired for being aggressive than get fired for trading down and collecting an array of picks and selecting bumps. So, 2022 NFL Draft, one of the worst in Minnesota Vikings history, but you can see the adjustment the Vikings have made over time, which is cool. Thanks for joining the show today. Hit that subscribe button. And remember to check out 5-Star Bath Solutions of Minneapolis for your bathroom needs, and Hoagland Farms Beef for 100% rotationally grazed grass-fed beef. 952-491-1541. 952-491-1541. Tell Jared Tim sent you, and he'll give you a discount on your first order.